And boop. Hi, everybody.
Whoa.
Welcome to and reviewing the MCU. I'm Bronson. This is Aaron.
Hi.
Am I pointing to the right thing? Yeah, I am.
I don't know.
Okay, good.
All right.
No, how do cameras work? How does mirroring work?
Not a clue. Not a damn clue. Oh my goodness. How you guys doing?
I'm in pain, but I'm
you
doing
in pain,
alright.
Bronson?
I am in pain. They also put out another Marvel trailer the other day.
Yes, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited.
Dope. It's dope.
Yep.
It's super dope.
Yep.
I never thought they'd find a way to make me give a shit about Shang-Chi.
I gave a shit about Shang-Chi when all I knew him as was a wiki page on Marvel.com, and that was it. And so now that he's got his own damn movie, I'm excited.
Right on. Yeah. But yeah, that's actually not what we're here reviewing today, though.
No, we are not. Especially not trailers. We can't do that.
Goes too far, too much.
Look,
too
man,
soon.
that's a whole other medium. No.
So
today we are reviewing.
Reviewing and ranking.
Yes, reviewing and ranking. Iron Man 2 and Thor, because this show is MCU ranked, where we rank all the Marvel movies. We're going in order. Last week we did Iron Man and Incredible Hulk, which was a good movie and a not so good movie.
It's a good movie and a really bad movie.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Fucking some good soundtrack though. Good soundtrack.
It was fine. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna get started here.
Do you want to go ahead and jump in?
Jump right in. So Iron Man 2 came out first.
Sure did. Well, yeah, it came out third.
Which is really weird. They went Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man.
Do you think they just really knew that Iron Man 2 was going to be really good?
I think that first movie, they thought they got lightning in a bottle with Robert Downey Jr. and they thought, fuck it, we need to get this out here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Especially with Thor being a kind of arty, weird time limit thing.
Yeah. They had to get stuff out anyway. Yeah, they had this whole plan. So, yeah, but it's interesting because, yeah, you think about Thor's going to come out, then they need to get Cap out, and then you get Avengers going. What necessitates an Iron Man 2 in the middle of this first phase?
To it doesn't need to exist as a story for Iron Man, actually. This is if this was didn't exist, it would be real. It would be this movie. I feel like this is just a way to build out the world further, and Shield and Black Widow and War Machine, rather than it is to we're fleshing out Tony Stark further. Tony Stark does not grow. He grows a little bit, but it's still
a big portion of the movie is about trying to have Tony Stark grow. And I thought that was compelling in its own right. It's just was it necessary?
And I felt a lot of it was just kind of rehashing some of the stuff we did in the first one.
A little bit.
And I was just we fucking what? He's supposed to not be an irresponsible dick anymore. What? Why did the first movie even happen then? So
because it's not about it's a different kind, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, and so there's that. That said, I really liked. That said, I did like what they tried to do with setting up they set up the new villain, Whiplash, and they tried to set up the world with Justin Hammer and all that stuff, and yeah, that was all its own flavor of interesting.
Yes.
The movie opens up in a very weird way. I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole bird and whatnot, and
that's
everything.
Right. Yep.
Them talk the dude talking to the bird, and Like, you must. I can give you my knowledge, haha. So on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's like I my roommate's excited about something apparently.
It sounds like she's streaming.
She is. But no, yeah, like I feel as though like that setup was fine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Tony, like Tony kind of paying for his dad and what he did earlier, but just like the most interesting part of this to me was actually the beginning where it was just like, oh, the government's trying to seize his shit.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. Yeah, it's the idea of Iron Man is this piece of technology. It's not like a superpower that can't be given to anyone. It is literally a piece of tech that the government could have if they understood how to make it and reproduce it.
Right.
And so the government tries to take it for their own selves, and that's an interesting question that they battle with throughout this movie.
Right, and I think that's a very interesting topic to have. I also think that they probably don't do enough with it. Like it's like that. Like War Machine gets it. Like War Machine happens in this movie, and then like they never really ever address like, is the government ever going to go after this again? Like, is the government not trying to mass produce these?
That portion they don't do, and that's interesting. It could be, and it's probably not addressed in the movie. I don't recall it being addressed in the movie, but it could be that they debuted those robots and it was a disaster, and then like the public's like, do not fucking do this ever again, and
and now we
being like, oh, we rise above it. Iron Man, you just saved the day. Okay, we won't do that.
I guess.
And then they go back on all that with Civil War.
God, watching Phase 1 of the MCU really is like, dear God, we've come so far.
Okay, so I just want to say, I want to get this out there now while we're talking about our overall impressions. I really enjoyed Iron Man 2. I had a real good time with it.
I was up and down on it. Like, there were parts of it I really dug.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other parts of it not so much. So yeah, so
do we want to do the thing where we skim through and?
Yeah, I mean, let's do that because like that's the
that'll help.
Yeah, that's the part of it. Elon Musk was in this movie. That was funny.
He was there for a second, which I'm not surprised.
All right, Disney Plus is telling me it's going up $1. Neat.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I mean, to be fair, it's still the cheapest one by far.
Oh yeah, but as it is with these services, it'll keep creeping.
Yep. Oh no. Dude, it's gonna be like it's gonna be fucking some real shit once they have like all their shows and everything going.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be hitting Netflix prices soon here.
Yeah. Yeah, so like and then you have Tony's like entrance at the fair.
Yep.
And like him, one thing I did like is him dealing with his mortality. Like the fucking the palladium is poisoning him.
Right.
Like that was a really neat concept, and like the reason why he gave away all his shit and everything.
Which I also think plays into him being irresponsible again. Like, and that plays into the rehashed bit. Like, oh, he's doing this again, but like it's coming at it from a new angle. That it is, but like on the other side of it, I'm just like, you would think like new responsible Tony Stark would be less like, hey, I'm poisoning myself. I mean, he doesn't up until like towards the end, he doesn't have a solution to it, right?
Not until Nick Fury and them are like, here, we're locking you in, you're figuring this out.
With items he didn't have before. Or
right,
he had, but he hadn't figured out the secret yet.
Right, like he hadn't his dad like so like, and early in the movie, like he signs the company over to Pepper.
Yep.
And we get our introduction to Black Widow, which Dear Lord, Scarlett Johansson's fine. Dear Lord.
I thought it was really. You want to talk about like seeing like how far we've come, like seeing Black Widow's hair kind of like tight curls, like, oh God, what?
Yeah,
okay,
that was different, but just dear Lord, Scarlett Johansson, man.
That was a good cast. That was a good pick.
That was an excellent pick, and just Lord.
And Tony turning to Pepper like, I want one. No.
I want one too. I understand what Tony would. Yeah.
So, all right. So are we skimming through?
Yeah. So you have the party, or like you have the Monaco party, and he Hammer. He talks to Justin Hammer and the reporter from the first movie.
Yep.
And then Whiplash attacks.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna be honest, that's a pretty, like, considering he has like the arc reactor and in theory some of the knowledge of the Iron Man suit, this seems like a really weak facsimile.
Well, it doesn't explain why he sticks with why his theme is the whips.
Yeah, like
why
we
was
know
this
him in
the idea?
Yeah, so Tony decides like, hey, I'm gonna go race in Monaco because, well, I own the race cars and I'm gonna die soon, so fuck it.
Yep.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, if that would be something I would do if I was in his situation.
Yeah, sure.
Like if I owned the fucking race car and I thought I was gonna die soon, like, fuck it, I want to go 200 miles an hour around a track in an F1 car.
Let's do a crazy race. Why not?
Yeah. So yeah, Happy and Pepper show up for what must be the most awkward fight scene in the history of ever.
Okay.
Happy.
So, wait a minute. Which part is this? Are they driving out onto the track?
They drive on the track, and then Happy hits him with his car.
That was weird. I actually started laughing really hard, and maybe that was the intention, but it was just awkward. And like, if it was intentional, I thought it was actually pretty good. Like, it was like I don't know. It was like a kind of cringe moment of like, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna keep ramming this supervillain with my car, and it kind of works for a while.
And they're trying to get the suit out of the car, and like Tony into the suit, and it's so fucking awkward.
If I remember correctly, there's like no music playing, and they're just ramming him. And like Pepper is screaming her lungs out. It's just.
Who directed this one?
It was Jon Favreau, right? And he's like driving that car.
He is.
And it's like.
It was Favreau. Okay, like, yeah. Fuck, Lord. Like, how did that make it past the editing process with no fucking music or anything?
Well, again, I think it was meant to be played up for laughs, and it got a laugh out of me. But I honestly, the way it was done, I don't know if it was intentional. I think it was.
Right. Like, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Like, I think it was is the key word there. So they they have the big fight, and at first Whiplash has the advantage, and winging him around. Then Tony's like, "This doesn't really hurt me. I'm gonna just go wrap this around and knock you the fuck out."
Yeah.
And then
so this is clearly based on a comic character. How does Whiplash come to be?
Oh, fuck if I know, dude. Like I said, it's
here while we're talking about this, I'm gonna look this up.
Tony goes to visit him in jail, and Whiplash knows, like, hey man, you're poisoning yourself. That must suck, right?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be dead soon, and I'll be free. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
I am evil. I am also an actor who had a problem with drugs and came around.
But I sadly will not be as rich and famous as you are.
Yeah, no, what's Mickey Rourke up to? He was in Expendables. He was good in The Wrestler.
Parker wanted him to be Thanos.
That would have been a decent Thanos. I don't think as good as Josh Brolin, but I think it would have been decent.
Let's see what Mickey
It's
Rourke.
hard to see his face as Thanos.
Yeah, well, I mean, Josh Brolin isn't, either, but whatever. Hey.
Well, yeah, no, they obviously do a lot of work.
Well, that was the last movie he got an award for was Iron Man 2.
Wow.
He got Best Villain.
Well done. Let's see here.
Apparently, he did the Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Oh, okay.
He was on season 4 of The Masked Singer. And then Iron Man 2 and The Expendables. He had a minor role.
Yes. Well, he was a member of the Expendables.
Yeah. So there's your fucking answer, I guess.
Well, I hope he's doing all right. Looking at I'm looking through that a long paragraph about what happened. He used Iron Man Mark 16 body armor to construct his own armaments. It just says he becomes Whiplash. Okay, I'll have to read the comic sometimes because this is unsatisfying.
Continue with the movie. Justin Hammer busts him out of prison and is like, "We need you to make an Iron Man suit." And then, Tony asks, who eventually we all know is Black Widow, like, what would I do? What would you do if it was your last birthday here? She's like, I would do whatever the fuck I wanted. Yep. And knowing what would happen, of course.
Yeah.
So, which, I mean, to be fair, Tony does exactly what I do in that situation, so I can't blame him. I mean, I'm being honest with you, I would have done the exact same fucking thing, so...
Okay. I couldn't say.
I'm a multi-billionaire with an Iron Man suit. Yeah, I'm throwing a giant rager with fine women everywhere, and I'm probably getting so drunk I can barely stand in my own suit.
It's something that, it's hard now that we've seen the whole thing and we've seen the Tony Stark that just says, yeah, I figured out time travel. In a few days. It's hard to go back and see him be like, well, I can't figure out an element that makes this work, so I'm going to go drink and die. But obviously, we have the benefit of hindsight.
Also, at this point, he hadn't seen fucking space aliens or, any of that shit yet.
Yeah.
So right. he is still in the mindset of earthly limitations.
Yep.
So.
And was, under, different impressions regarding his dad and things like that, so.
He thought his dad was kind of a fucking asshole versus, the truth of the matter is dad, did care for him, just, also cared for work a lot.
Yep.
So. No, I fucking, I get it. I actually really like that. So he does the party and he has his fight with Rhodey, and that was actually a really good fight. I liked it. I liked the robot men fight.
Mm-hmm. And that was another one where it was cut music because I don't know. One, enjoy the fight, but two, there's some funny stuff in there because
there was.
Yeah. Yep.
It's really hard to make an all CG robot man fight like that seem interesting.
Yep.
Especially with 2010 CG.
I mean, I thought it looked good, especially especially coming off of Hulk.
Oh yeah, no, or even our next movie. To be fair,
dude, the next movie, holy shit. Anyway, yeah. So the fight was fun. Don Cheadle getting in the suit, that was good. And then took off.
I like how Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper immediately figures out this fucking new assistant is up to some shit.
Yep.
And calls it out.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah. So you have the robot fight, and then so the robot fight goes down,
mm-hmm.
and then Rhodey takes off with the suit after they have their little beam struggle, their Dragon Ball beam struggle. Yeah. So now the U.S. military is in possession, and Rhodey's in possession of an Iron Man suit. And then you have Tony eating donuts in a giant donut. Once again, this all just seems very familiar.
Uh-huh.
Except I would go to jelly donut.
Sure.
Instead. I mean, that's what you do when you.
But do they have a giant donut? Is my question.
No, they don't. They're next to a. So back when I would get shit-faced drunk. I like as we say that we drop one view. Back when I would get shit-faced drunk. Way back in the day, there was a jelly donut next to this coin laundry. There's a ghetto coin laundry, mind you. And I would go there, and it was this, family run by this Asian family. And then this thing called a cherry burrito, which is one of the most delicious pastries I've ever had in my entire life.
This isn't the laundry place with the riding machine in it, is it?
I think it might be.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's the one, I think you've been to that one. Yeah.
Some garbage TV in the middle. Yep. Okay, great.
Now they have flat screens.
But they're probably playing the same channels.
Yes, the same garbage channels. Now they're flat screens, though.
Cool. All right, great.
A bunch of cheap flat screens.
Nice.
For some reason, half the dryers are always broken. But it's free dry, so,
God, okay. Yeah, take advantage of that. Holy shit.
No, dude, I totally do. Anyway, Tony has his little conversation with Nick Fury and Black Widow.
Yep.
And they clue him in on everything, the element, and then fucking Hammer has his conversation with the fucking Whiplash. He's like, these are gonna be awesome, don't worry. Hammer's like, this isn't what I wanted, but then he's trusting him.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have Nick Fury going on and being like, no. Like, look, your dad actually cared about you a lot. He trusted you fully, so on and so forth. And this is why this is happening. So then Coulson with one of my favorite lines in the entire movie. It's just like, if you try to leave the presence, what was it? Hold on, let me get the exact quote.
Yeah.
Let me get the exact quote for you. It made me laugh my ass off. Let's see. Oh my god.
Having trouble?
I'm just like, it's. Oh, here we go. Of course, the GIF isn't playing. Here we go. Okay. If you attempt to leave, I will tase you, and you will. Hold on. Sorry, I will play it one more time. Here we go. If you try to leave or play any games, I will tase you and watch Super Nanny while you drool into the carpet.
Super Nanny. That can't be what I'm thinking of. I used to watch that fucking show. Wow. Holy crap. That was a long time ago. All right. Anyway. What year did this movie come out?
2010.
Okay. God, that feels like a lifetime ago.
I mean, it was almost 11 years ago.
We were in high school, or I was in high school.
Yeah, we were both in high school. Last year of high school, and just
fuck, man, wow,
long fucking time.
Anyway, yeah, look, dating your movie.
Right, and then no, actually, one of my favorite parts about watching movies from this era is like seeing the old smartphones.
Yes, always a good indicator in your movie.
It's just like, because even the most garbage of garbage smartphones today look like this.
Yep.
Like it's like, unless you know the exact model that's going around, that's like the good one, most just look like black bricks.
You know how an app looks. You know how like the
Like,
mobile layout
hold up
looks.
your black brick. Do you have your black brick on you?
I got my black brick on me. I got my Silver Surfer brick on me.
Nice. I got my Goku and Vegeta.
Nice.
So let's see if the camera catches it.
There you go. Yeah, you're doing your own Iron Man War Machine.
So anyway,
But yeah.
well, that's going on. They are editing the War Machine armor with Hammer Industries shit, which this demonstration's fucking hilarious. And it's like, I call it the ex-wife. It's a bunker buster is what it is.
Bust the bunker under the bunker you busted.
Mm-hmm. And then you get Tony's dad like being all heartfelt with him and whatnot. And
I'm
then
Walt Disney, but Tony Stark.
then Tony goes to see Pepper about it and is like, brought you strawberries. You're allergic to strawberries.
You picked the one thing I am allergic to. But I picked up on the correlation. You see. Emily in the chat says, "Gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative."
That's in 2 more movies.
Is it 2?
That's next week.
It's Captain America and then
Avengers.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. All right, so that's next week.
Next week, Avengers Uno.
How you doing, Emily? You doing good?
Yeah, so I generally, I generally really dug, I dug that scene, like the heartfelt moment with his dad.
Yeah.
And then you have the Pepper Tony playing my Tony's.
That was a rough scene.
Yeah, and then Tony, I love Tony driving around with the city on his fucking car, just sticking out the top of it.
Yeah, with the big fat Audi product placement throughout.
Yeah, they got a lot of. To be fair, if I could afford an Audi, I'd buy one.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what is your sports car preference?
To be honest, I want a Nissan 370Z.
That is a fucking great car.
I just love the way it looks. I think it looks incredible.
My big problem with those Nissans is they are very compact. Fun fact: my first car, though, funny story about this. My first car was almost a 300Z.
Nice. All right.
Unfortunately, my dad passed, so we had to sell all the extra cars we had and shit.
That sucks.
So,
I mean, so yeah, given that, like, you would absolutely take an Audi.
So like a 300Z, but yeah, like 300Z. If you're willing to settle for like 2-3 years old, a 300Z, a 370Z sells for around $28K. That's not bad.
That's not necessarily bad. I will never have that money, but
that's you do what almost anyone who buys a car does, and that's car payments.
Yeah. One of these days.
Hey man, I paid off my car.
I know you did. I'm not willing to go there on that or my phone right now.
Phone I understand, because like there's so many offers that companies do nowadays. That's just like
sure.
Why would like I got fucking what's the thing, like the AT&T's fucking get the last year's iPhone for $8 a month.
Right.
Like why would you even bother?
Yeah.
With with the shit I do.
And to be fair, I have not broken down my car yet. Maybe once it does, then I will reconsider.
Yeah, see, like I didn't have a working car at the time.
Yeah.
And I could hold on. Hey, volume! You got another stream next door!
Guess what, motherfucker? You're loud too! So stop! You're fucking hypocrisy!
You are way louder than me right now!
You are a hypocrite!
You are way louder than I've ever been!
You're a hypocrite!
Oh, okay, yes, because you are being loud. Lordy.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Anyway.
Emily says, just got home, ready for my weekend. Hell yeah.
Nice. Enjoy.
Oh, goodness.
Lordy.
Yeah, one of these days.
So, anyway, Tony figures out the element thing, because that's what Tony does.
That's what Tony does. And he figures it out by his dad had it on the map and then got rid of like the walkways and like entrances and exits and trees and other things. And then so apparently his dad already had it and then just didn't act on it because of the technology of the time, I guess.
Yeah, he just didn't have the tech of the time.
Okay. Man. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tony nearly does set his fucking shit on fire doing it.
And he goes, that was easy.
Yeah.
As Tony does. Yeah, so then figures that out. Channels it into the little triangle thing, which he creates a new core for, right?
Yep, gives him the new look. The look that's more comic booky, where it's a triangle instead of a pure circle.
Wasn't it
a
circle
triangle.
at the start?
Right. So no, it's a triangle inside of a circle instead of a circle inside of a circle.
Oh, I'm gonna look up some images right now.
At least that's how this one has been.
Sure. I mean, yeah, probably MCU. So we got some triangle here. Yep. Oh, that one's a straight up Superman logo. Okay.
And there have been some liberties taken with it for sure.
Yeah.
But this particular one has always been it went from circle into circle to triangle into circle.
Okay, variations. That's one of the fun things about Iron Man is he can just change his suit to whatever he wants whenever, and everyone's like, cool.
I mean, yeah, dude had a Hulkbuster suit. Dude had a what's it called? The nano machine suit that he gets in Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
I'm actually surprised they didn't do more with that, with the history of the character.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe there's a new Iron Man. I don't know the actual history of Iron Man.
I mean, there's Iron Heart, which is female Iron Man.
Okay.
So yeah. Hammer goes to confront Ivan about all the shit he's making that isn't the suit. Tony makes the new arc reactor, which is, fully correct.
Mm-hmm.
And at the Stark Expo, they show off War Machine and all these killer mech robots. And then Ivan turns them all on.
Yeah.
In which you have this big, really fun battle, actually.
It's a good battle.
Because you have Tony blowing up all these mechs and trying to get back control of War Machine. And then War Machine gets back to joining Tony after they do the flyby and the fly-through. And then you have, on the side, Happy and Black Widow going to go in and go to confront Ivan and hack everything.
And that was when they finally showed off, what makes Black Widow great.
Yes, what makes Black Widow a fucking rad hero. Because, I mean, up until this point, if you weren't confronted with Black Widow, then you're thinking fucking spy character, who cares, Iron Man,
right?
But then you see why Black Widow is super dope, especially because they have the contrast of fighting one security guard with Happy versus her electrocuting one dude, freaking going in, head kicking another dude, all this other shit. Just flipping around, using garrote wire, fucking.
Emily says such a great introduction to Black Widow.
Yes, saw that head, the leg grapple thing from earlier. It's a really good introduction to her in action scenes. They do a great job with that. And then she gets in and sees everything is all automated, and is like, and the two security guards totally murked. Tony
ending that run with the pepper spray was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
Absolutely.
that was really funny.
The happy, so not happy. War Machine and Tony lead all the. They finally hack War Machine, and they get Tony and him to confront all the robots in one spot.
Ooh.
And it's just that was just a fun scene.
So good.
That was my only issue is like my same issue I had with was my same issue I kind of had with the last Iron Man, which is just like giant robot fight. This is a better giant robot fight.
It is a better giant robot fight.
But it's still like kind of just like
also like setting up that scene where it's like they're in the garden area. It's them back to back, surrounded by these giant robots with the cherry blossom trees like blowing in the wind as they get ready to fight.
That was dope. But I'm referring to the actual Whiplash War Machine Tony fight.
Oh, that fight, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like that fight is very much just them killing all those fucking robots prior, dope as hell.
That was my favorite part of this movie.
Dope as hell.
Yeah.
Well, like completely dope as hell.
He uses the laser move, and War Machine's like, you should start off with that next time.
Yeah, and then they have the beam struggle to nuke Vanquish Bay.
It's so good. Yes, call back to the earlier beam struggle.
Yes, that was well done. Tony wakes up, suit's still intact. Vanko's taken care of, and then all the suits are gonna blow up, so he has to go rescue Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the suits blow. You get to see the whole Spark Expo get blown to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cap it off with him and Pepper doing the kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Rhodey with his little bit of commentary there.
Get your own roof.
And then he blasts off. And then you get the Avengers Initiative, a preliminary report. And they're like, we want you to be a consultant because you're fucking crazy and manic and unstable. Such a great intro to Black Widow, says Emily.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, 110%. And then having that senator have to present Tony with the medal.
That was funny.
That was beautiful. That's just such a dickbag senator, and he gets even worse as we find out in later movies.
Yep.
And then I believe that's it until the post-credits, which is a hammer in the desert.
Yep.
Which we all know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Thor.
I was about to say Tim Allen, but yes, Thor.
Tim Allen, yes. Home Improvement, coming to the MCU. Alright, so we need to put this in the rankings. Let me pull up the notepad.
Okay.
HR
Ninja with the
Yeah, there we go. That should be our next emote when we unlock another one.
And this is to go even further beyond. Be a dope character.
Alright, so Hulk. So from bottom to top, we have 3 movies. So 3 was Hulk.
Yes.
Alright, so what would you rate this movie?
3 was Hulk. Kind of gave away your hand there so far.
Well, no, like I'm ranking the movies from where we were last week. And
we
all know that
we all know that Hulk is going to be 3rd.
Hulk is probably going to be last this entire time.
Yes.
I'm going to be real with y'all.
Yes.
Maybe, and Thor Dark World might beat it out. I'm not sure.
We got a couple movies that'll fight for it, but I honestly, especially after viewing Thor, we'll see. We'll see.
But we got to rank what we got.
Yes.
And so what would you rate Iron Man 2 out of 10?
Out of 10?
Out of 5. Out of 5. Sorry, out of 5.
Okay.
Sorry, out of 5.
What kind of review site do you think this is?
What am I doing?
Do you remember what we rated? We rated like Iron Man 1 4, and then Incredible
And then
Hulk
Hulk
2.
was 1.
Oh, right. We had different rankings. That's right. I gotta save these to a document somewhere.
So yeah, I will put its score next to it.
Okay.
Which is 1, and then Iron Man we gave a 4. So okay, so what is what
This is actually tough for me because if it was out of 10, I would have a number for it, but if it was out of 5,
it's out of 5. What are we giving Iron Man 2? I vote, like, on the grading curve of the MCU, it's kind of a 2 for me, but overall it's probably a 3. I don't think it's as good as Iron Man 1.
See, I would in that perspective, I would give it a 4.
Okay.
And I would put it above Iron Man.
You are out of your fucking mind.
Why? I had a blast watching this.
I don't know, dude. I just had parts of it where I was like in and out, and like it feels like it does it does nothing for Tony beyond like trying to like just push more of what the first movie did. You know, I think that its end battle is better.
Yes.
And then that's about it. Like, I found watching Tony become Iron Man and like turn into, you know, like what he is far more interesting than like, you know, more of that and then reiterate upon it.
It was a different
like
take on that stuff. And then there was also the stuff around it where like the introduction of Black Widow demonstrating her ability to just become a different person and be really good at it, and then also be a badass fighter on top of that. And then Don Cheadle coming in as War Machine and getting a proper War Machine.
Right, but like once again, like they set that stuff up in the first one. They're like, you know, next time, baby.
I mean, sure, but then that does not affect my score of Iron Man.
You know, I mean, yeah, I don't know, and it's like hammered and like the villain in both these movies is not great. Like, yeah. I don't really give a shit about either of them. You know,
I like
Hammer.
The idea of Whiplash's character in terms of like, here is also a son of a great inventor who, due to circumstances, was, you know, thrown to the side, and his father's in prison, and he's languishing somewhere while watching Tony Stark be crazy famous. You know, I think there's an interesting thing going on there, and he's just crazy brilliant and takes advantage of Hammer being asshole rich guy.
Which, like, Hammer had a lot of potential to be very interesting, and then they just turn him into a giant joke. Like that's actually another thing that's kind of irritates me about that.
I mean, he says he would be back real soon, and it's just the fact that we are coming back to it after all this time, knowing that like not really anything.
Not really.
If they could have though.
I mean, yeah, they can always follow up on that. Like now that Tony's dead, like Hammer is, you know, like. You know, he's working on his own suit, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Like, yeah, no, they could have totally done something with that. And as someone who still has not seen Iron Man 3, you know, I didn't know. But it's... I don't know. The only problem I have with this movie is that, like... I mean, okay, so there's one of two problems. One, what we talked about earlier, which is that this kind of puts Iron Man back where he was before, other than War Machine is properly developed. Like,
and like War Machine doesn't come into a play into later movies, as we know, like, or Avengers, I should say. Like, he doesn't even really come into a play into Avengers until Infinity War and Endgame.
Sure.
You know,
but if War Machine was to have, you know, some time, it would be in the Iron Man.
Right, and the thing, I just feel this movie almost feels unnecessary. Like, almost everything in this movie that is in it, like, gets, with the exception of War Machine, gets squeezed into Avengers and does a fine job. Like they introduced Black Widow in that movie also, and they do a fine job of introducing her.
Yeah.
Like like that they do a great job of introducing her in that film, and like and then was like, do they need to reset Tony again? Like no, like this is a fun movie, but it also feels very unnecessary to me in the overall broad context of developing Tony as a character, developing the MCU as a world. Like
they do some developing of the whole Shield bit, and again, yes, they could have introduced Black Widow in other parts, but they did here.
I mean, yes, and I mean, to be fair, they also introduce her for the uninitiated, for those who skipped Iron Man 2 in Avengers, and it's, in my opinion, it's a better here's what Black Widow's all about.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to, next week, of course.
Yes.
So, for me, it's kind of like a 3. I have it's a good time, but it doesn't serve much of anything in the broader context beyond here. We need a movie to build out a couple more things for Avengers and possible future movies past it.
Which is fair. I think if you wanted to make the argument that this is less important in regards to the entire continuity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, then yes, I think you're correct. I think Iron Man 2 is a more fun, enjoyable movie than Iron Man 1. I sat down not expecting to be all that thrilled about seeing Iron Man again. And I sat down and just watched intently.
See, I came into Iron Man 2 knowing what it is because I've done this recently, being that's exactly what I remember. That movie, to the broader context, is fine. Its fight scene is a lot of fun, and Black Widow is a lot of fun, but in broader context, I would rather watch regular Iron Man, watching him become the Iron Man and build the suit and go through those trials and whatnot.
Which I think those are good, and I think Iron Man has a decent shot to be in the top half of movies. But I also think Iron Man 2 has a decent shot at that as well, because I just think on its own, it's a fun, enjoyable movie.
Okay, so all right, so for splitting the difference, I think we're gonna have to do half points.
Half points.
Half points, and then discuss ranking. So, so is this a 3.5 then? Because I say it's a 3, you say it's a 4.
I would still keep it at a 4.
You're really okay. All right.
I think this movie's good.
I think it's the weakest of the Iron Men, but you haven't seen 3 yet.
I haven't seen 3 yet.
So all right, so it's a 4.
Especially considering the ending of Iron Man 1. The announcement that he's Iron Man is great, but the whole fight with Jeff Bridges' character, I'm just okay, all right. Yeah,
but the fight with Whiplash, other than the fucking beam struggle, I'm also just
when you combine it with the mech situation, it's better than the whole combined end of Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Also, this develops the whole relationship with Pepper Potts, which finally hits home at the end of Endgame.
Yes, but they blue ball us on Pepper for literally 10 years. Literally 10 years. They're will it, won't it?
I mean, they do at the end of this, don't they?
I mean, yeah, and then in Avengers it continues, but then in fucking Ultron it's in Civil War, they're split up again.
Right.
It's
been a while since I've seen those movies.
Yeah, so all right, so that's a 4. We'll rank it once we have Thor out.
That's okay, that's fair. All right, fine.
All right, on to the mighty Thor. How's it?
Here, I'm gonna grab a drink. You talk with chat for a second.
So, Chad, I want to know what you thought of Thor, because I occasionally will make comments as I watch these movies in the Discord, and the first thing I noticed about this movie is, oh, for the love of sweet Christ! Every time they use a Dutch angle, take a shot, because you will fucking get alcohol poisoning and die. For those of you who don't know what a Dutch angle is, that's when like it's slanted. What?
The moment you said Dutch angle, I knew you were talking about Thor. Only other movie I've seen use more Dutch angles was Battlefield Los Angeles.
No, this is what you do. You put up a Thor, and every time there's a Dutch angle, you take a shot.
There you go. All right.
And
I
then
want
you
to die. Why not?
You fucked up.
I'm Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. Let's do this.
That's. You will get beyond hammered so fast. No, unrecognizable. So, opens up with some human star chasing. And then Odin has his big speech about his war against the frost giants, and how how they fucking took care of that shit and built Asgard, and you can see this beautiful golden kingdom, and he's talking to young Thor and young Loki.
Yep.
Oh.
Emily says, I didn't drink any alcohol during my viewing, and I could feel my liver in a bit of pain.
I remember you telling me that.
Jesus.
Oh, I don't know. This one like as bad as Hulk. Like, who's the actor who is Odin?
That is Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins fucking kills it, first off.
Good.
He does such a good job. He's way too good for this fucking movie.
I was surprised Anthony Hopkins was like, yes, let's do this.
You have like Thor, and he's all cocky and brash and a fucking dick.
Yep.
And like the beginning of the movie happens, it's just like, the like it's attacked, and then Thor's like, to war, and Odin's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Fucking no. Stop it. But then Thor gets his homies plus Loki to go down to Frost Giant World.
Yep.
And attack winning shit at everyone.
Yep. Gets his friend stabbed because he wants to swing his hammer.
Yep. Good shit.
Good stuff, Thor.
Yep. Very he's just so fucking unlikable in this. Like the one thing I can say, let's see. Also, this movie has re-solidified my love of Norse mythology.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a real good Neil Gaiman book I can recommend to you.
Yeah.
All about Norse mythology.
Yeah, no, like part of it's, trying to show Thor's journey, right? This is
right. Like by far this is the most unlikable protagonist we've had at the start of one of these fucking movies.
Yes.
So like Edward Norton is like kind of weird and
He's
whatever
a nerdy guy and
then like fucking Robert Downey Jr. is so likable in Iron Man 1.
He's likable, but you can understand the love-hate relationship with Tony Stark.
Yes, absolutely. But in this story,
it's the reporter. It's the reporter correctly calls him out on his bullshit and then sleeps with him later. It's like, yeah, to both counts.
Yes, but in this, Thor just sucks.
Thor just sucks in this.
Like he's just like watching him fight is cool.
Absolutely.
And him and his friends all fighting those dudes, and even Loki has a real fun moment when he things that dude in the cliff.
And who doesn't want to be part of a gang of dudes that have a history of getting up to shenanigans? I liked that aspect of it.
Exactly. And then so he gets in deep shit, and all of them are about to attack, but then Odin shows up with the Bifrost and talks to the king of the frost giants, and it's just like, look, he's a fucking kid. He's a dumb kid.
He's only killed dozens and dozens of your frost giants. Just drop it.
Look, man, this does not need to be this does not need to be a war that you would get smoked in. And so that happens, and then Thor has an argument with Odin, and Odin's like, "Fucking, you are not king yet, and you're a little fucking whiny puke. So I'm gonna strip you of everything and fucking send you to somewhere where you can learn."
Yep.
And then does that fantastic speech with the fucking hammer. Was just kills it with that speech, bro. What is it?
Whosoever can wield this hammer shall wield the powers of Thor.
Yeah, I believe that is it. But
Something like that.
yeah. So no. So you have that, and he gets sent to Earth.
Whoever's worthy of wielding this hammer.
Yeah, and he gets found by Natalie Portman. Literally, that's all I could see the entire time. I
saw Padme the moment I saw. Like, yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh. I'm like, yep. Yeah, like, up. You're Natalie. She is not a good actress, at least in this.
I think she's fine.
Like, she's very. Like, I don't believe she's like a character or a person. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's the defining trait of this character that she has research?
She has research. She's got the hots for Thor.
Which, again, who doesn't? Like, that's not... You can't...
You see that man shirtless?
You do. At some
multiple
point.
times.
For a crazy homeless person. Pretty cut.
Yeah, bring that up. But yeah, so the hammer lands and a bunch of dudes try and pick it up, while research crew takes Thor to the hospital, and like 80 dudes try and restrain him fail. And then, oh yeah, we didn't bring up the Stan Lee cameo in Iron Man 2. It was meh.
Which one?
They
was
think
this
he's
one? Larry King, which was
yeah. At first they're like, oh, the first movie half. This movie, Larry King.
I can see how you could work that. Yeah, sure.
Very boring
quick.
in one note. Yeah, very quick. I love the cameo in this movie where he's like one of the truck guys. He's like, the hammer rips the bed off the truck. He's like, did I get
it? Yeah. Yep. That was a good one. Quick again, but funny.
That one was at least funny though. Those other two, it was just like, and then the Hulk one was once again awful. That shit was awful.
It's stupid.
Fucking.
I had a laugh because I think Stan Lee would have found it funny, but like, yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah. So, they get out of jail. Hulk, or not Hulk.
Yeah. Wait. Whoa. Hang on.
Thor has his shirtless moment.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
yes, he does.
Fucking, that man is handsome as hell.
Yup.
Man,
you can also see like this is. You can still see like this is first phase Thor, like because they figure out like his hair stuff in later films. You can see like they're working on it right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit they figure out in later films. I actually think that Thor to me does not become interesting at all until Age of Ultron. Like as a character.
Well, yeah. Let's just keep talking about the movie. I'll give my overall thoughts in a bit.
So his friends are all chilling and talking about where the fuck he is, and Loki lies to them and steals the motherfucking Tesseract because Loki gonna Loki.
Not the Tesseract. What is it?
Yeah, the blue thing, right?
I thought the blue thing was the post credits blue thing.
Oh no, you're right.
I don't know what that thing's called though. Not Bifrost.
Anyway, and then because of his fight with the giants, Loki figured out he's not full Asgardian.
Oh yeah. And
has a very long conversation with Odin, and it's heartbreaking because you can tell Odin does care for him, but Loki's being a little shit because that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what Loki does.
That's an interesting thing. They give him like this tragic backstory, but also they introduce like him being kind of a little shit before he finds out about his backstory and becomes more deep as a character. So it's like, it's interesting.
Right. So Odin's out cold, and you have the another scene, which is fucking spectacular. I love it. I wish that's how I could ask for drinks in real life.
That was good.
So moving along. They're like, they hear about the report out in the desert. Shield comes to go steal all their shit.
Yep.
Their research and whatnot. And then Thor's like, I'm gonna break into that shit in the middle of the night. And while that's going on Asgard, Loki's like, I am king, and you four friends of Thor are now my bitch. Basically. And it informs him of that news. And then that goes on. Selvig starts reading of Norse mythology, and Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's character, takes him out to the middle, to the base, get ready for the attack. There's a lot of shit going on all at once.
Yep.
But I mean, I was like, none of it is all that engaging in particularly. Like, like the entire time, I'm just like, yeah, okay.
I had a good time with it, but it was a lot of all right, we know Thor's preparing this break-in, but we know 1, he's mortal, 2, he's not worthy as of this moment. So this is going to end in heartbreak.
And also we know Loki's full of shit.
We also know Loki's full of shit, and that's not delivering anytime soon. So
it's just this just feels like padding. This just feels like fucking padding. And he goes in and he busts in there, which, to be fair, it does show off that he still does, he still is a warrior and is still,
yes,
somewhat Thor. Because he kicks the shit out of all those dudes.
Yep.
And we get a little taste of Hawkeye.
A little bit of Hawkeye in there.
A little tiny taste.
Yep.
He tries to lift it and fails miserably.
Oh, that. Even though I knew it was coming, it was still soul crushing.
Right, when Thor is not worthy of his own fucking hammer.
Yep.
By the way, if everyone asks why I keep doing this and that, it's because I'm stretching my back out.
Yep.
I fucked it up this weekend real bad. So
I hear it starts at 30.
Well, first time I had a fucking back problem like that, I was 20. No,
I mean, you can pull your back.
I was 21. I fucked up my back for the first time real bad when I was 21. And I remember because it was a week after Mass Effect 3 come out, and I couldn't bend over, and my 360 used to be on a box on top of a wooden box on the ground, and I had to change the disc, and I never hated the 360 more than at that fucking moment. Because I'm sitting in my chair, pillow under me, because this was straight up a pinched nerve. This was not a pulled muscle. So this was literally, it hurt to move, it hurt to walk, it hurt to do fucking anything. And I'm just so what I do is I move the chair over, because it doesn't hurt to stand if I tense my muscles, and I hang on the chair and I create a swing with my own body, take the disc out, put it in the tray, put disc 2 in, fucking thankfully it could close via software. Boom, I'm okay, we're good.
God.
We're good. Back in the chair.
God.
This is actually not as bad as that, or at least I'm healing a lot quicker from it.
Good.
But
HR Ninja says, can confirm, and Emily says, don't give me that warning. Look, I'm approaching it too. Look, it comes for all of us.
Yeah, no, it just...
And at least it sounds like a pinched nerve or something. It's not the spine.
No, yeah, it's not. It definitely is not the spine.
Okay.
I can tell from it has to do with muscles.
Good.
I can tell from the way it moves and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, that anyway, back to the movie.
Yes.
So Thor gets caught, and they're like, "We gotta bust Thor out." Loki comes to talk to him and tell him a bunch of lies because it's what Loki does.
Yep.
Oh.
Loki gonna Loki.
Yep.
That was the most intriguing performance of this whole movie, which is the reason the Loki show is even happening, is because like from the get-go, I thought Tom Hiddleston as Loki was the most interesting and great performance of this movie.
No, I fucking for years there have been Loki fangirls and Loki fucking hood. I remember like going to see the Avengers in theaters and seeing a horde of people in Loki hoodies.
That's fun. That'd be really funny if in like the Loki show, like he takes advantage of like a fandom around him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like constantly trying to get people to worship him, but he can't. But he has this fandom, and he's like, "You'll do."
Don't give me that warning. Don't worry, you're what, 2 years out? I remember being 28 and having a good back.
It was 27, right? For the Smash Bros thing, we had to get 27.
I think it was 29. It was 20. Was it 29 or 28?
I don't remember.
I'll say it was 29.
1 year away. Okay, shit.
It cometh.
Yeah, it's coming for all of us. Also, I hear it's knees first, usually, before spine.
Not even.
Not even?
Well, so I can't really say because I fucked up my left knee playing sports long before age had a chance. But my right knee is entirely fine years later. So
good.
But yeah, so Loki is, and they bullshit Thor out, but you know, Shield is like, well, they're obviously full of shit, so follow them.
This is the only way to get any sort of information about who this guy is, because he's not talking.
Right. So they have their whole bar scene, and Thor takes him home.
Yep.
And it's just like we drank, we fought, he made his ancestors proud. I was like, it's like I still don't believe. What?
That was a good line.
It was.
That might have been one of my favorites of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he and God, I keep forgetting that character's name. Kate Foster.
Oh, which one? The one paid by Natalie Portman?
Yes.
That's Jane.
Jane Foster. Mm-hmm. They go out, and that's like the other bit is like there's magic and there's science. Where I come from, those are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. That's a good line.
Oh. That was a nice little thing there.
And the Earth realm is called Midgard.
Yes.
It's not. That's not Earth itself. Like the realm of Earth is Midgard.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have their little scene, and Thor's friends decide, okay, we need to go get his ass.
Yep.
So they try to go get him, and everyone's kind of recovering from stuff, and
also can we talk about Idris Elba as Heimdall?
Yeah, he does a good job. I'm actually kind of bummed the MCU didn't use him more. That's an old Viking thing. I assumed it was.
Yeah.
All
right. I remember that was a huge controversy at the time of that movie that Idris Elba was cast, and like Idris Elba, first of all, just on his own is great, and then
he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, and then as Heimdall, I thought he was wonderful.
Yeah, he does a great job. Yeah. He gets frozen though.
What's that?
He gets frozen. The Guardian.
Ugh.
The Guardian gets sent down to Earth and jacks up all of Shield's cars. Thor's homies fight him, don't do shit. Mm-hmm. And then Thor is like, okay, I'm gonna go confront him because he only wants me. He gets pimp slapped, literally pimp slapped.
Yeah.
And then that activates the hammer and gives him his powers back because he's willing to sacrifice himself.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
And then the Thor, the Mjolnir just comes to him? He's not like holding out his
Yep.
hand or anything. It just, oh
Just
shit,
flies.
I'm needed.
Yep.
Like, okay.
And then he kicks the fucking robot's ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do more Dutch angles.
Yes, they do.
So many Dutch angles. So many Dutch angles.
Look, this is an alien. This is a crazy, weird world. We need the camera to reflect this.
Fuck directed this.
While you're looking that up, I think this is like the most beautiful movie so far.
Oh, visually? Yeah. No, it has some fucking shit that really pops.
Yep.
Kenneth Branagh.
No idea.
So he did Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets,
Okay.
The Road to El Dorado. Oh no, he starred in these. He was an actor in these.
What?
So he has directed several William Shakespeare adaptations.
Okay.
Apparently he's been nominated for 5 Golden Globes. Okay, I need to find his work as a director.
I could see the motivation for getting him with a Shakespeare background dealing with Thor and Loki and Odin.
That just feels like the most like Hollywood ass.
Yeah.
Like don't know what they're doing decision in the world. That's honestly what that feels like. It's like, oh, that's kind of like Shakespeare, right? Right? Okay. Cool.
Everything's kind of Shakespeare if you think about it.
Yeah. No. So Thor fights the thing and he wins.
And he wins.
And then, he's he says goodbye to Jane with a Dutch angle and then flies back up to stop the murder of Odin from a frost giant. And Loki murders the other ones. And he's just like, brother, I'm here to help. La da 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 da.
Did you mention that you lied? Oh, yeah, about that. And then shoots him.
Shit. I didn't lie. What are you talking about? So, yeah. Which, it is, that is what it is.
That was interesting. Yeah. Again, like, the Loki was the most interesting because it was like he was constantly playing chess with everyone around him. Everyone, because it was about, helping his own goals.
Right. Sometimes successfully, sometimes not.
I mean, yes. But, like that was a good final twist of, like not even the Frost Giants. Loyal to me.
I'm out to get mine.
But I'm not going to be even blatant about that. If I'm not in cover in one faction, I'm in cover in another.
So, the thing that I really liked is like Loki ends is like really doing this for father's approval. So like they have this really good fight over the Bifrost, and then Thor sets his hammer on him, which I thought was fucking great.
Yeah, it was
I thought
good.
that shit was funny as hell.
Yep.
So there's that, and then you have the. So you have you have that combined with him being like, oh well, the only way I can get to this is if I destroy the bridge. So he calls back the hammer and like giving up seeing the woman he cares about and giving up all this other stuff, blows up the bridge.
Yep.
And then Odin comes to save them. But Loki is like, nah, son, I'm out of here. I'm out. Like, you didn't want me to genocide frost trolls? Damn it.
Well then, shit.
So he floats away, and then, we have the scene on Earth where they're, like, all looking up at the stars, and then the scene back on Asgard where, like, Thor, I want to say Thrall, Thor is like talking to his mom, and his mom's like, he misses the woman and he misses his brother, and he's like, I wish I made you proud, father, and he's just, I want to make you proud, dad, and he's like, you already have, son. And then cut to the lab with Natalie Portman's character, and stuff that she's finding, and then Thor looking down with Heimdall, and then credits.
Heimdall's like, she's looking for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then the post scene is like setting up for Avengers super hard.
Yup.
With Nick Fury talking to who we think is the Doctor at first, but then it turns out to be Loki.
Oh, can we also go back to Iron Man 2 where they show off Captain America's shield? It's like, what's this about? It's like, oh, that's exactly what I need, and then sets it up underneath the pipe to.
That was pretty good. That was a good little nod there. So,
yep. Yeah.
This movie dragged like a motherfucker.
What? I had a good time with this movie.
I just, oh god.
Two problems with this movie.
Anytime that it is a character that is not Thor, Loki, or Odin, I could give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's my first. Jane Foster is awful.
Everything that's not in Asgard, I don't really care much about. Or what's the other world?
Jotunheim.
Jotunheim, yeah. Like that whole setting, like fun, great. It's honestly unfortunate. Like these characters that are apparently canon.
They are.
At least Natalie Portman's character is.
All three of them are. Selvig shows up in movies as late as Civil War.
Oh no, the movies, yes. I'm just, but like comics is what I'm referring to.
Oh yeah. No. Well, comics have so many different canons that.
Well,
what about the Lady of Sif and the Warriors 3?
Yes.
No, they kind of suck.
No,
I don't like them.
They're wonderful.
They're just.
So we got Xena, Jackie Chan, and Robin Hood,
and one other guy, the fat guy.
And they got the dwarf, but not dwarf guy. But like that line did not have him. I guess I don't know.
I
loved that. I thought all that was great. It was really the Earth stuff, where it's like Shields being dicks. Hawkeye appears, and we're like, "Yay, Hawkeye!"
Just like here's a taste of Hawkeye for later.
Yeah, no purple, no wearing anything. It's just bow and arrow. And then, but just those characters, even though they show up later on, which is like great. Like, for example, these characters are not Pepper Potts.
Like, these characters are all one note. They have little no personality. They don't interact with Thor or any of the other characters well.
They get a brief, like the guy gets a brief drinking scene that, like, I'm sure all the entertaining stuff got cut between them starting the drink and him getting dropped off.
Selvig and Thor were somewhat entertaining together, but like otherwise could give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That and the guard thing that they sent down to like fight Thor, I did not think of as like a great villain. Like honestly, 4 for 4 on villains, I did not really care for.
Just the worst.
Like the early Avengers. Honestly, there's something to be said about like the villain choices and execution in Marvel Cinematic Universe in general has not been great.
No, I can name. I like Zemo. I like Ego, Vulture, Thanos.
Mm-hmm. I think we're coming up on a good one.
Red Skull, Loki. It's kind of
yeah, Loki. If you want to count that as the ultimate villain, Loki was their first good villain. I guess, yeah. I guess that's sort of it. But like, this is more the creation of Loki as a more traditional villain. Whereas Loki was very much gaming the system and playing behind the scenes.
Outside of Loki, Thor, and Asgard interact, I don't like the supporting cast outside of Selvig and a couple of the remarks from Kat Denning and Coulson. I really fucking hate everything in that desert.
Except Stanley.
Yeah, except Stan Lee. It feels like this movie wastes a ton of my time. Like it feels just like, for fuck's sake, just get him back the hammer. And like every beat of this movie feels like it is just trying to justify its existence. And it's like you know, I don't know, man. Just I did not have that much of a good time. It's not as bad as some other stuff that comes later, for sure. Like there are two other movies that I'm not a fan of in this like run through, and I think it's definitely better than its sequel, to be fair. But we'll get to that later.
I need to watch that again. I'm excited to watch that again because I remember having a decent time with it. But...
So what would you rate Thor?
Man, this is one of those things where like if we could do like go into 0.5s, this would be a 3.5 for me. But if I had to choose between 3 and 4, I'd have to go 3, I guess. Like
it's a 2. This movie's a 2.
I enjoyed this movie. I had a good time with this movie. If I could skip ahead to the next portion here, I think it goes below Iron Man specifically because Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark are a match made in heaven, and they take advantage of that from the beginning of that movie.
Versus, I feel as though Chris Hemsworth is not fully utilized as Thor until at minimum Avengers, if not later.
I think he does a good job, and it was necessary to set him up as a dick so that he can go through that personal transformation, and I think that is worthwhile. But like, it makes Thor not the most interesting character. Loki's the most interesting character.
I think there's that. I think there's also just the fact that just once again, this movie feels padded as hell. I don't like any of his supporting cast whatsoever. Versus Iron Man's supporting cast, I like all of it. I like Rhodey. I like Pepper. I like Happy. I like when they told me Happy was going to be in Far From Home, I was like, fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Versus like they told me, oh, Jane Foster is going to be in Thor 4. I'm like, oh, really? Fuck
I don't
me.
mind. I mind the same amount that I mind Happy coming back. Which, like, I would expect Happy to come back given, like, some of the developments there, but I don't know. I didn't really have any strong feelings regarding Happy. Other than that car scene with Whiplash was this surreal bit of humor?
Fair enough. Yeah, like, this isn't the worst movie ever. Like, grading on the MCU curve, like, it's definitely a 2. I can see why it would be a 3 to some people. I definitely don't think it's a fucking 4.
I had a good time with this movie. This is actually one of a movie that it might be my favorite movie that I've seen in 3D. Because like the visual aspects of Thor and Asgard are just incredible, and then they just added a subtle bit of 3D. I understand why people wouldn't pay the extra money for 3D in general.
I watched this on a 65-inch 4K HDR setup.
Nice.
Then my opinion of it was visually really cool.
Yep.
I have a 3D monitor in the living room. I'm not sure I would watch it on that.
I want to give it a shot just to see. Although now you've seen it now, so you probably don't want to see it again for a little while.
Yeah.
I had a good time with this movie. That said, on the list, I think out of the 4, it sits at 3.
Okay, so hold on. So Hulk is in dead last.
Yes.
So we have Thor.
Absolutely, it is.
Now it's ranking the 2 Iron Mans. I think Iron Man 1 is better than Iron Man 2.
I think Iron Man 2 has more going on in it.
I think there's more going on. I just think like building Tony as a character is way more interesting than anything that happened in Iron Man 2.
It was building in a different way.
they literally have to partially reset him to justify it, and that's like what fucking Russell's My Jimmy is about this.
It was a vehicle to develop more about like Shield, Nick Fury, Black Widow.
Right, which like, you know, here we are in 2021, year of our Lord, getting a Black Widow movie finally.
Yeah, that took way too long. They should have done that way earlier.
What
happened with that?
That should have been a Phase 2 movie.
Right. What are you doing? I wouldn't mind if it was Phase 1.
Well, yeah, Phase 1, you got to use like the most safe bets as possible. Like,
I mean,
okay,
sure, yes, I could see the fact that Hawkeye hasn't gotten anything.
Hawkeye's getting a TV show though.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but yeah, I'd like just if like the argument is like Iron Man 2 is more fun, like that's an argument I could see. But I think that as a like Iron Man 1's a better movie. Like seeing his origin, it's more complete and better for the MCU as a whole. It's like it. Here's the thing. I've had people ask me what are the essentials of the MCU to watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think you can completely skip Iron Man 2.
Oh, sure.
Like, and that's another reason why I think Iron Man's a better film. Also, is like going through like if someone said, "Give me the MCU, no fat," what is it? Then I'm telling you, okay, Iron Man 1, Thor, Captain America, Avengers is your Phase 1. Your Phase 2 is Civil War. Or not Civil War. Winter Soldier. Thor: Dark World, sadly. Age of Ultron.
See, the fact that you're including Dark World in this is...
Because that's important shit that's like in Endgame.
But that I think reveals like an imperfection in this perspective in terms of ranking this.
I mean, if you're going like what are the most quality movies you should watch in the MCU, then I go Iron Man, Captain America, Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Civil War.
Oh, okay.
Doctor Strange, Infinity War, Endgame. And I think there are arguments to be had for Far From Home and Winter Soldier and Ant-Man. Yeah. So, and once again, like, this could change as I rewatch. Winter Soldier is the one I'm really curious about.
I am curious now as well, like hearing how strongly you feel about it, because again, like going through this is reinforcing what I remember from watching these the first time, which is the vast majority of these I had fun. I enjoyed myself. They knew how to make an entertaining product.
Rewatching these again, especially like after the context of doing this like 2 years ago and then doing it now, is like most of these are very much like 3 out of 5. A couple of them are really good, 4 out of 5s, and then there's like a handful that are like fucking 5 out of 5 great. You know, and then there are about 3 to 4 that are just absolute fucking garbage. So Thor for me is not quite there, but it definitely is. I didn't have a great time for it. But chat. So I want to take the temperature of chat. Which Iron Man did you prefer? If we're gonna get there, I'd like to get their opinion as well.
Do you think Iron Man 2 is better than Thor?
Oh yeah. Right. I think Iron Man 2 is definitely better than Thor. 100%. I think Thor is more essential for a rewatch because of it, you know,
a quicker rewatch, like the essential rewatch.
Yeah, the essential rewatch. because it establishes who the fuck Thor and Loki are.
Yep.
But otherwise, I think that if you like sit me down, you say, "All right, you're stranded in a cabin, and these are the 2 DVDs I have." Well, yeah, let's fucking watch Iron Man 2 then. That's where I go with that.
Sure.
So, no.
Honestly, going back to our Iron Man 2 conversation, I think it's the interesting parts of Whiplash were the parts where he's not like out there being Whiplash.
No, it's him fucking with Justin Hammer. That's the best parts of Whiplash.
I like when he's in there just like coding and then manipulating Hammer Guy, doing his own.
It's like, oh yeah, we'll get him an admin password. Oh, okay. You're...
Yeah. Drone is better.
So it's like, oh, this software shit. As just better. Otherwise, let's see. As just better than Thor 2. Otherwise, Iron Man 1 is way better. Now, we're asking clarification. Which did you prefer, Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2? We both agree the Iron Man are better than Thor.
Iron Man 1. She's saying Iron Man 1 is better than Iron Man 2.
Okay, fair enough.
I am willing to concede this fight, but I'm just going to state personally I would rather watch Iron Man 2 than Iron Man 1.
That is wild to me.
I think there's more stuff going on in that, entertainment-wise.
Well, okay, fair enough. I will say, if memory holds, I'm one of those people who love the first Captain America. From what I remember the first time I did this, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
So,
I remember really enjoying Captain America. That was a good ass time.
I remember seeing it back in the day and not liking it, and then watching it again in like my late 20s, thinking this movie's fucking awesome. So,
Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, I remember being incredible.
Just the build up, like him as like the speech from the doctor, like, oh, it's so good. So good. Such a good. All right, so we have our ranking for week dose. We have the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Iron Man 2, and then Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, your homework is to watch Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yes.
All right, that's your first bit of homework. Your second bit of homework, and this is a real fun one, is to watch The Avengers.
Here we go. Yeah, we're getting into it now.
Fucking yeah, boy.
I'm ready.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm ready.
Oh Lord. Yeah. So this is very much a reminder on why Phase 1 is rough for me.
Again, like we knew it. They had to take time to figure stuff out. It doesn't really help that and this reflects in our list that they had Tony Stark and just Iron Man in general kind of figured out. It was just the switch from what's his name to John Cheadle there. Otherwise, they had Iron Man's whole world figured out. Hulk's like, fuck, I don't know. Thor's like, we mostly have it.
So I do want to get everyone for ready for Phase 2. Here are the weeks in Phase 2. So Iron Man 3 and Thor 2.
Mm.
Then Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm.
And then Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Okay.
So.
Shit.
Yeah. And then Phase 3 is when it gets fucking wild.
That's when it gets real good.
All right, yeah. So that is our ranking for now. So Hulk, Thor, Iron Man 2, Iron Man.
Yep.
Next week we'll be back. We'll be bringing in Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Avengers, the Avengers 2012. And then we'll be back and then continue on reviewing and ranking them and telling them which one's good, which one's bad, et cetera, et cetera.
We're gonna have fun. Hope to see you guys there.
I'm sure we will have many interesting discussions about this.
Tomorrow, we are playing some Halo 3.
Yeah, it's Halo Trace.
We're gonna be starting that up. That'll be a 4-player co-op. We got 2 people, I think, lined up for that. So they'll be joining us. I cannot wait. That's gonna be good. And then Thursday, Pirate Night. We got shit to do.
We do. We're gonna go steal some forts again.
I'm down.
Fucking
After last week, that was what?
All about robbing from folk.
And then Friday, I don't know when, but the Tachyon Rift event for Marvel's Avengers will be released on Thursday. They just had an update today preparing for that. But Friday, we're going to have a stream where we're showing off some Tachyon Rift stuff and whatever that entails.
That's what that big ass patch was today.
Yes, it was. They're preparing for that. So, as far as we know, it's just going to be the ability to play as 4 Iron Mans or whatever, but maybe there's more.
I'm curious to see what 4 Hulks looks like.
Dude.
Man.
It's going to be nuts.
And then you have let's see, and then you have Sunday podcast.
Super
which
Gamecast
we already had some news going on, some hot news.
Dude, there's been some news today.
Fucking, we won, boys.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. We won.
Yep.
We successfully bullied yet another multi-billion-dollar corporation.
It doesn't happen often, but man, you got to take these victories.
One does, you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Feel good. Anyway, believe that'll be all. Questions, comments, concerns in the chat.
Anything at all?
Well, that should
just about do it.
I should do it. All right, so let's see who's on to raid. Well, I wanted to get Jerica, but she went night. So let's go. This gentleman, Mr. Ray Carcillo, is currently playing some basketball.
What?
And he's playing MLB The Show.
Oh, okay. God damn.
And he's a cool duder. He does PR for that Evil Dead game that's coming out, I believe it is.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, let's go say hi to him. Everyone, let's go watch some baseball.
Let's go.
Take me out to the ball game.
Let's go see someone in the dev community playing some video games.
Emily knows this person.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. All right, YouTube. Bye.